my definition of leadership is simple: inspiring people, or inspiring outcomes, inspiring people to achieve outcomes, and inspiring outcomes to be realized. The truth of the matter is, with everything that we're faced with, we're desiring to get a certain outcome, an outcome that we think is favorable, whether it's at a company, whether it's within our own households. And the challenge is figuring out what the best steps are, the most efficient steps to achieve that goal. So what a leader does is recognize what the goal is, number one, but also recognize what the challenges are, and then recognize what resources that they have to accomplish the goal. So the leadership role is to look at those realities, what the issue is, the challenges and the resources, and figuring out how best to utilize all of those realities to get to the goal as quickly and efficiently and correct as possible.
Welcome to the Nicholas Brown Podcast, a podcast talk show about real estate investing, business leadership, and personal development. Each week, we explore current real-life case studies about how to build financial independence through investing in real estate to build your personal portfolio through passive income models, along with interviews from the top business leaders and personal development leaders. Now, here's your host, Nicholas Brown.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I know just before I started recording this, we're going to have another episode, but this is just the beginning of this guest. This guest here, ladies and gents, he stands out. So what I'm going to do here, so we get straight to it, the nuts and glory of this, just to explain this, I'm going to read the about section, and then we're going to get straight into this conversation. We got some very important conversations, especially what's happening now at the time of this recording, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to deal with leadership and what he has involved. Okay, so I'm going to read the about section, and then we're going to begin. But before I start, make sure you guys subscribe, because I promise you, ain't no doubt in my mind, if you stick with this, you're going to want to hear another episode for this guest I have right now. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube and subscribe to all channels for podcasts, which he's also a podcast host, which I'm going to explain. So today's guest is Don Gatewood. Don is the podcast host of the Leadership and Professional Development with Don Gatewood. For 21 years, John has led several nonprofit initiatives in Detroit and Washington, D.C. Gateway has led large teams, program operations, strategic planning, accounting, communications, compliance regulation, fundraising for several organizations, including American Red Cross and Goodwill Industries of Greater Detroit and Washington, and the Center for Workforce Inclusion. Gatewood is the current co-founder and CEO of the Initiative Baltimore, a professional leadership consultant, and the host of the podcast show, The Leadership and Professional Development with Don Gatewood. He completed his bachelor's studies at Wayne State University and master's degree at University of Maryland. Gatewood also has a certified workforce development professional, DTM, and Toastmasters International Board of Director at Oglethorpe, Labor Management Committee, and a Contract Negotiator. For more information, reach out to Don you can reach out to him right as we speak now, LinkedIn, Don B. Gates, and Facebook at Don.Gatewood. Welcome to the show, Don.
Thank you so much for the introduction. I really appreciated that. Wow,
Yeah.
hearing someone speak about your background that's real interesting. I'm humbled by it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. You're blessing. Look where it's at. So it works, man. It happens. Never quit, as we said before. Keep enduring, man. So we thank God for you if you're a believer. But keep going, man. Don't never stop
Absolutely.
going.
I'm definitely a believer. Thank you so much.
Which that leads to this, ladies and gentlemen. The purpose of this and done, what we're doing is we're going to talk about three things on the show, which me and you, we can get deep. Because he has a podcast show. You talk about leadership, and ladies and gentlemen, he has a non-profit company which he deals with specifically young men, young boys to grow up as men. So we talk about three things, Don. We're going to talk about motivation. We're going to talk about teaching. We're going to talk about perspectives. So when motivation is something that inspired you to move. So with that said, what inspired you? We're going to talk about two things then, because you can deal with leadership and personal development. What inspired you to start your podcast? And then we'll back to an earlier event.
Absolutely. So the leadership and professional development with Don Gatewood podcast was developed solely off the idea that I want to make sure that every single one of us has all of the information and tools that we need to achieve our professional and our leadership goals. Here's what I know for sure, Nicholas, is that most of us, we want the highest amount of success and the highest amount of impact in everything that we do. Because why else would we do it? The challenge is having all of the information and tools in order to make that dream a reality.
Right.
But the opportunity is that we can get those tools that we need. Every single one of us show up every day with a great amount of strengths and superpowers and skills. But we also show up with things that maybe we can be better at, things that we don't know about leadership, about professional development. It could be negotiating salaries. It could be resume. It could be managing a team. It could be conflict resolution. Whatever it is, there is an opportunity for each one of us to learn, because we all are growing and evolving, and no one of us are in the exact same place at the same time. So we have an opportunity to grow and to learn. And the hope is that through every week we do these episodes in these specific areas, people can tune in and say, today we learned about negotiations. Today I'm learning how to conflict. Today I'm learning how to build a nonprofit. And that is the goal of the podcast. And it's been super exciting, very exciting to do.
And that was your purpose too. And the good thing, that's similar to my purpose, and it's recorded.
Absolutely.
Anyone can see it, whether it's 50 years from now, 100 years from now, it's there.
Exactly, it's there.
It's free information if you just apply that or tool that. So man, that's awesome. That's awesome. So how new is the podcast? Is it, I mean, what so
absolutely. So the thought came into my mind. First of all, let me say this.
Go ahead.
I'm a huge podcaster fanatic. I've been listening to podcasts for quite a few years. I love to, work out, ride my bike, and being able to listen to podcasts while I'm moving around is so cool. I've been lucky enough to hear a lot of your shows as well. So thank you, Nick, for the amazing content that you are doing and continue to do. Congratulations. Thank you, number one. There are so many other people out there that's doing amazing content as well, whether it's entertainment, it's religion, it's professional, or it's just having fun. And so my love for podcasts, it started many, many years ago. That's number one. So I always loved them. But in terms of me, I knew about a year and a half ago that I would do one. It was just a matter of timing, a matter of making sure life was put together, my priorities together. And so when it was decided to launch, I've launched. And I've been going for a short time, but we've been able to do a lot of episodes that we have posted, and there's so many more coming. We have over, I think, 12 or 15 episodes that are already out there.
But you got listeners. You got solid listeners.
We have solid listeners, and we got a lot of content already prepared, a lot of amazing topics. So it's been amazing. I appreciate everything that people have been doing to listen and to share. And I appreciate people continuing to listen and to share, because I think it's important information that we're going over week by week.
Don, this is on you. You're our guest. And you just plug me, you motivate me. I want you to plug what's the name of your podcast? And did I say the correct for Facebook?
Oh, yeah.
Because you're getting a lot of response. You already got a following. You got a target following, people that want to listen and follow through with you because of your experience. So what's your Facebook? I saw your Facebook, man. You're getting a lot of good responses.
Well, let me say this though. I think that there are so many people, and my hope is that there are so many people who have aspirations and dreams, and sometimes you don't always know where to get the information from or how to learn. And so what my hope is that people who I don't know, who I'm not connected with all over the world will say, hey, this is some good information. I haven't been able to get it in this digestible way. Let me pay attention to him. So the hope is as many people as possible who have professional and leadership aspirations, they'll listen in. And that is my goal, to be accessible and to make sure that I'm able to meet everybody where they are with the different focuses on the podcast, and that's the goal. So of course, getting to the podcast is a great way to connect with me, listening to it. Another way to connect with me, of course, is on LinkedIn. Like you
Sure.
mentioned, I'm Brian Gatewood. And then
Sure.
of course I am on Instagram as well, Don Gatewood 1, at Don Gatewood 1. So I'm
Yes.
on Instagram too. So those are all ways that people can follow me and definitely find a pathway to get to the podcast.
But on your business page, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm personal with my Facebook, but I got a business
Mhm.
Facebook. My
Right.
point is, ladies and gentlemen, he has so much replies. He's getting the right target. So his podcast is golden. But if you watch him on his live Facebooks, you'll get the point. 'Cause
Right.
that's what he
Right.
focuses on: leadership and life, things that you go through in life,
Right.
which I'm gonna get straight to it. We gotta get another episode. 'Cause I could ask you so many questions
Hmm.
done
Right.
dealing with
Oh, I'm
leadership
ready.
and personal development, because you
I'm
talk about the
ready.
same thing.
Hmm.
And I talk about real estate development, which in
Hmm.
time I want us to talk about real estate investing, cash flow.
Exactly.
I want us to get into that in time also,
Hmm.
because I believe in teaching worldwide. And let's focus on this, what's going on now. They're
Hmm.
fighting over land. People don't realize that. Of what's
Hmm.
going on with the global
Yeah.
leaders, what I'm talking about.
Yeah. It's
But it's
always about
different
land and resources.
exactly. It's in the
Land and
Bible. They
resources.
follow it in the Bible. So it's all about land and what you know and how to structure it, though. But it's crazy, though. But my point is that leads with certain types of leadership, which you
Hmm.
got pushy and you got pull.
Hmm.
You as a leader,
Hmm.
you're a man of pull that inspires someone, that motivates them to
Hmm.
move. So what is your understanding? What is leadership to you?
Right. So leadership, gosh, it's such an easy word to say, but it's such a complicated word when you really peel back the layers of the
Right.
onion, because when you look at people in leadership positions and roles, or they have leadership titles or manager titles, there's so many different ways that people approach leadership. And I think
Right.
it's based off of a number of things. It's based off of your maturity level and your experience. It's based off of your education and what you understand to be effective and ineffective, but also your personal personality and your personal goals can influence your style as well. And then finally, I think mentoring plays a big role in how people understand leadership and how they grow or don't grow. So those are some of the things that I think play a huge impact on people's leadership styles. Regarding me, I believe my definition of leadership is simple: inspiring people, or inspiring outcomes, inspiring people to achieve outcomes, and
Mm.
inspiring outcomes to be realized. The truth of the matter is, with everything that we're faced with, we're desiring to get a certain outcome, an outcome that we think is favorable, whether it's at a company, whether it's within our own households. And the challenge is figuring out what the best steps are, the most efficient steps to achieve that goal. So, what a leader does is recognize what the goal is, number one, but also recognize what the challenges are, and then recognize what resources that they have to accomplish the goal. So the leadership role is to look at those realities, what the issue is, the challenges and the resources, and figuring out how best to utilize all of those realities to get to the goal as quickly and efficiently and correct as possible. So a leader, effective leader, is able to really assess, to make a plan, but also willing to make adjustments if necessary. Because
Mhm.
with every project, there are circumstances that are unforeseen. There are
Mhm.
ideas that we think will work and they won't work. And so with the leadership job is to identify that things are working and not working, but also figuring out the agility necessary to retool, to figure out what needs to be done now so that we can continue to work toward our goal. And those are some of the qualities that I believe a good leader has.
Qualities.
Now, I will say this: there are different work environments which could require different leadership. Some people work in environments where the business is very minute to minute, like a newsroom. Some people work in environments where it's a little bit more slow paced. Other people work in environments where it's a small number of people, and then others work where it's a large, their territory is all over the world, even all over the country, all over the state. So the people that you impact aren't as close. So the leadership style may have to be changed based off of location, the size, the closeness, and the type of business that you're running.
But I told you, ladies and gentlemen, we need another episode because we can get deep in this. I'm just gonna get deep on this point because you got some questions I wrote on here that I believe in evolving. You said qualities. You said evolve earlier, but do you agree there's good leaders and bad leaders?
I think that good and bad.
Because you influence is about influence, right?
Mhm.
So don't you feel like if I influence you in my back mind, like, man, I'm just trying to get the money from
Right.
this guy. That's kind of it's me. It's not you. It's kind of pushy compared
Right.
to a law where I educate you. Where, hey,
Right.
how can I help you, Don, get to this point on there where I
Right.
can build a bridge for you if I educate you? You know,
Right.
you know what
Let
I
me
mean?
say, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Let me start out by saying this. To answer your question, is there good or is there bad? Let me say this: the
Okay.
foundation does have to be rooted in a certain way. So there are some people who start out bad faith, like from the beginning. Their intentions are bad faith. So
Yeah.
a person who's their very cause of what they're doing is bad faith, then their leadership is going to be a reflection of that bad faith position, number one. But then there are people out here who really are good faith, they're well intentioned. However, there are certain leadership styles that are more effective than others. So I'll say
Styles.
it that way. I
Yeah.
believe that the first thing, we got to have a solid mission, something that's really
Right.
honest. Because if it's not
Right.
honest, it's going to all be bad, number one.
Right.
But if we really are dealing with something that's well intentioned, there are some styles that just are not as effective. For example, certain people in leadership, they're used to things being a certain way, or maybe before they were a leader, they were a worker. And
Right.
so they may have a hard time giving direction because and inspiring people because they've never done it. So that could influence the outcome not being great. Or some people, they don't trust very well, so they don't want to
Mm.
give up certain tasks because they're afraid you're going to get it wrong. So what that means is the leadership is going to be compromised because you don't trust in your team. And then some people, instead of inspiring, they may talk, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. And so that may have a negative impact. So good and bad, well, okay. I think there are a better way I like to look at it is there are more effective strategies and less effective strategies, and
Right.
helping people understand which of these are effective and which of these are ineffective. Once you understand that, then now you have the tools to choose the ones that really are effective.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man. I had more, but I'm like, okay, because those words, qualities and effective,
Mhm.
So what about this? Do you believe in culture? Has a culture? Because you've been leading, you've been in a leadership role. How long have you had your business, or you've been around? Because you talk like a leader, but you can adjust. You have how many people on your staff? Let me ask you this: do you got people on your staff, or
Right.
have you ever managed people on your staff?
Yeah, management has been a part of what I've done. I will say
Okay,
this, that a lot of my experience and perspective doesn't come from necessarily leading a team, but a lot
sure,
of my experience comes from what I've learned from other leaders,
right.
mistakes that I've made, things that I said, whoa, 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 that doesn't work. And even times that I've seen things be effective or ineffective, most of my experience does come from actually not being a leader and being a part of teams that have worked well or not worked well. But yes, I have managed teams before, and that certainly is a great responsibility because at the end of the day,
Yes,
not only are you looking to achieve your personal mission, but your job is to ensure that your team has the knowledge, the information, the passion, the education to also play a role in achieving that. So a leader has a great responsibility that is much bigger sometimes than what we really give it credit for.
reason why I state that because at this time, which I done had all types of leadership roles or management roles, or followed certain people because that's why that was a purpose of having this type of podcast for the last 3 to 4 months. I interview people such as yourself. Their methods of leadership is different. So that
Hmm.
comes to a episode that I did before with a leader. You have culture. You said the word mission. That stands out. You got to have a mission. What are we trying to get to? What's our point? What's our end game? So, do you believe in culture? Do you when your team, your role? Do you
Hmm.
believe in that method as they're talking about, where everyone got to have the same mindset? If it's four of us and me, you agree, and we come in the same time, we agree on certain things where we got one odd guy or two odd guys. That's not culture. Do you agree with that? But
Well, when I think
and
about
method
culture,
rather.
well, to be honest, this is what I think about culture.
Go ahead.
A culture is something that is just is. So, every company has a culture. The
Okay.
culture is a reflection of the the people who work there. The culture is representative of the mindsets of the people. The culture
Yes.
is representative
Mindset.
of the leadership and the priorities that they set. But the
That's right.
reality is, every company ultimately has a culture. The question becomes, are these cultures effective, or are they toxic? Are these cultures helping the organizations achieve their missions and goals, or are they standing in the way? But no doubt about it, every company has a culture. Just the nature of people coming together, they make a culture. For example, if I
Mm-hmm.
am with my two of my friends, we create our own culture based off of our interaction. So every group of people come together and they influence a culture. The question is, are these cultures effective and efficient? And if
That's right.
not, there are some tools and some opportunities that organizations do have to shift the culture to help it be in line with what's necessary to achieve the goal.
Okay. Man, he got to be set for 2 or 3 other episodes, ladies and gentlemen, of the series. Because I'm asking questions. Cause I want to get deep into it, but I'm gonna get, I'm gonna get to the next
You are
question, man.
funny, Nick. You
You're
are so
good,
funny.
man. You're good. I
No,
laugh
Nick,
because I'm inspired, man.
you are a
I'm
great
inspired.
facilitator. So you ask me these amazing questions and it allow me to reflect on some of my thoughts. But no, I appreciate the questions. I really
But
do.
you're strong, bro. That motivate me. I would have had you off by 5 minutes.
That's so funny.
You hit the points that I'm getting, man. You're deep, man. I appreciate that. So teach us some methods that you teach your peers. But let me back because I
Hmm.
want to give you props. I gotta raise the purpose of how I came across to you.
Hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening and watching, he has a nonprofit. We got to
Hmm.
get to this before I end this.
Hmm.
What's your
Hmm.
purpose? Tell them about your nonprofit and what's the purpose of this.
Absolutely. So thank you for bringing that up. The
Sure.
nonprofit that I founded, I'm humbled to say it, I founded it with Christian Gant.
Yes.
Collectively, Christian Gant and myself, we came together and we identified an opportunity. Of course, every single one of us, you all, we have a responsibility to impact our lives, but also our community. Community is
Yes.
important. And
Yes.
so, Him and I said, we have an opportunity with young people in particular to help create leaders who
Yes.
run our communities, who run the social direction of our city, to run our schools, run our politics, just
Yes.
leaders in
Yes.
general. And how
Yes.
can we help create an environment where we're helping, young men see themselves as community leaders? And
That's
so
right.
that conversation, that thought was the foundation of what became the Initiative Baltimore. We serve young boys who live in Baltimore and the county,
Okay.
middle school age, high school age, and we come together on a monthly basis to deal with and to mentor young men, volunteer projects, sessions that deal with developing them critical
Mm.
thinking, leadership skills, community
Mm-hmm.
leadership, and that's what it's all about. But we do not do it alone. See, the thing about our community
Mm-hmm.
is it works best when we really operate as a community. So we partner with Black Professional Men, who is an amazing organization in Baltimore. Shout out to Hassan Dix, who is the
Okay.
president. We partner with Bridge, Maryland, who is also our partner. Shout out to Gail Briscoe, who is amazing, and Reverend Tillman, and the list. And so those are our major partners. So collectively, along with the parents, the young folks, gosh,
Mm.
the city, the grants that we've gotten from the city, Mayor Brandon Scott, and all the
Right.
other grants we've gotten,
Right.
youth fund,
Right.
people, they
Right.
donate money for all of that to make it do what it does. And so that's the spirit behind the nonprofit. And my humility is comes from people believing in the mission and supporting it in some of the ways that I just talked about. Truly humbled and truly grateful for that, really.
Well, keep enduring, man. I applaud you. Like if I had that, keep enduring. Do not
Thank you. We
quit. It's
appreciate
going to
it.
happen. How long
Yeah,
have you
the
had
city
the business? You
appreciates
and
it.
your partner. What's your
Mhm.
partner's name? Give him a shout out.
Of course. Christian Gant. Christian Gant
Yes, we're
is
gonna have
the
him at this time, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm gonna
well.
push it. I know you're gonna push it. I want him on the next episode,
Oh, that's
please.
fine. Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely motivated and pumped to talk about the nonprofit. He's actually pretty damn awesome. So
Yes.
we
Okay.
definitely want him on to we can talk more about nonprofit when him and I are together. But with that being said, we just are just grateful to be in this position because really what we represent is the best the city has to offer, and that is our
Mm,
young people.
that's
Our
right.
young people are the best that we
Awesome.
have. They represent the best of us, and we have to make sure that we sow and prioritize them. I believe that with every fiber of
Yes.
my being,
Yes. You're
and
gonna
and
do
so
it.
that
But when did you start? When did it
when I
start?
start, yeah, we started. It's been
The
years.
nonprofit.
We've
Okay.
been it's
So
been
it's
years. I
not
mean,
new. It's going. It
no,
happened. Okay.
well, it depends on how you look at it, though. I mean, the arc of a nonprofit. I mean, if you're talking about the first 5, 10 years, some people will call that new because some nonprofits have been around, gosh, for 50, 160 years. So we're
Well, when
still
did
in
it
that
spark?
newer
When did
phase.
it
It's been
spark?
three years. We've been
Three
around
years,
for
that's
3 years.
good.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome, man. Because I saw
yeah,
your Facebook page. That's what I'm
hmm
saying. Your business page.
yeah,
You got results, man. I always say
yeah,
perfect doing. At least you have it. Look what's
hmm
happening now. Look where we're at. But I
yeah,
always say, I tell people, don't
absolutely.
quit. Keep going
Don't
on your
quit. Keep
belief, man.
going.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Don't quit. Make
When-
adjustments. Fix it. Do whatever you need
yeah,
to.
yeah.
Just
Like
don't
my
quit.
daughter, man. I'm telling a story, man. Me and her mother, because I'm real. Me and her mother went through some things at that time, and my
Hmm
daughter came home and she was asleep, man. You guess how she was sleeping, man? She was just smiling. Cause we had, a little thing going. I never forget that face on there, man. She was still smiling. That's why I say don't quit, keep doing, keep enduring, man. It's not as bad as it seems. So that's what I'm telling your point, man.
hmm
Y'all enduring. People always see the after effect. They don't know what it took to get
hmm
to this point.
No,
So
they
that's
don't.
why I clap your hands on there.
Thank you.
Keep doing, man. Keep
Yeah,
it,
keep
making it
going. Got to
happen.
keep going.
And
Yep.
that's the purpose of me and your podcast and
hmm
your podcast, man.
Yeah.
And I'd love to have you on. So
Thank
we're
you.
gonna end this. Got five
Okay.
minutes and we're just about done.
All right.
What's your perspective on leadership? How has things changed now? And what do you think in the past and currently now? How's things?
Yeah, my perspective on leadership is this. Every single every person is indeed a leader. The
Yes,
question is, do we operate within that understanding?
yes,
Leadership is not the person who has the vice president or CEO in their name. That is a type of leadership, but we all are leaders because
that's right.
every one of us, we inspire change, we inspire outcome. No one at
Right.
the top can do what they do without all of the other people
That's
that's
right.
not at the top. So we all have an opportunity to be an influencer as long as we are passionate, we are committed, we are hard
Yes.
worker, and we're strategic in our planning. We all have an opportunity to influence outcomes that we believe are in the best interest of whatever space we're in, and we all are leaders. You do not need to have someone reporting to you to be a leader. You do not need
That's
a
right.
CEO in front of your name to be a leader. That is
That's right.
not what makes a person a leader.
That's right. That's
So
right.
that is one of the most important things that I can say about leadership and what I believe. And I also believe that once we all understand that, we will show up, we will stand up and take our place.
That's right. Well, what? Say it again. Will what show up? What? Say it
Show up
again.
and take your place.
We show up, stand up, and take our place. That's what you
Yeah.
told. I can see it. I can
Yeah.
see it. So you
Yeah.
motivated me, man. If you know my spirit is passionate, man. I love doing, man. I love the after effect. So that's deep, brother. Well, thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you.
Shout out to your podcast. What you got?
Absolutely. So again, shout out to the Leadership and Professional Development Podcast. We have an amazing episode that just dropped about salary negotiations.
Okay.
We recently, talked about, starting a nonprofit, which was with Christian, but we also talked about being an entrepreneur. And talk about all sorts of things that's coming up about business development and managing. So just check us out. We have an episode that's out for everything or that will be coming. Regarding the Initiative Baltimore, I mean, our website is theinitiativebaltimore.com.
Okay.
That's how
Okay.
you can find the nonprofit and the details of what we're doing there. But regarding me, I mean, you can reach me, of course, on LinkedIn. I'm Don Gatewood on LinkedIn. And I'm also, on Instagram as well, Don Gatewood 1. That's my Instagram. So you can hit me up on all those social media, Facebook. I'll respond to them all as quickly as I can.
Sounds good. Well, hey, Don, I definitely appreciate you coming on. It felt like you was right here, man. It's so deep.
I know.
Man. It's so deep.
I'm so happy we got a chance to connect. This is great.
Yes, we done it. And I look forward to the next episode.
Of course. We're going to be back at it real quick. The people going to blink and we'll be right back.
Yes, I feel it, man. I feel it. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. As I always end these episodes, don't condemn, don't complain, because you have a choice to make a change. Have a great day.
Thanks for joining us on the Nicholas Brown Podcast. Make sure to visit our website, www.nickbrowninc.com, where you can subscribe to the show in iTunes, Stitcher, or via RSS, so you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes. Or if you'd simply tell a friend about the show, that would help us out too. If you like this show and you are a new real estate investor, then check out one of Nicholas's free reports called the Wholesale Dominator Report, also located on our website, www.nickbrowninc.com/free reports. Be sure to tune in for our next episode. And remember, don't condemn, don't complain, because you have a choice to make a change. Have a great day.